So, taking your doodles to the next level. As you guys can tell, this is my first video. It took me a while to gain the confidence. I mean, typical artist, who could have guessed? A lot of self-doubt, especially when it comes to drawing like this. I started drawing like this, years ago. So, really, the level it's at now, it took some time. And, you know, as an artist, most of us are pretty humble, obviously, but we eventually want to be seen, we want to be heard, and we want some compliments. As humble as we try to put it off, we want to act like, oh yeah, thank you. Oh, you think it looks good? I appreciate that. Yeah, it's not my best work, like we kind of play this persona a little bit when it comes to our art because it's a piece of us. So yeah, if you're looking to doodle, look, as you can see what I'm doing here, I'm not doing anything other than just creating a shape, a line, and outlining it in a very abstract way. I just kind of build off whatever the drawing is showing me. So I kind of had to start letting go and just letting the drawing go in the direction it wanted to go. And I think a lot of us struggle with that. And what I mean by that is trying to force and control how the sketch or the drawing or the doodle looks too much to where it becomes almost limited and restrictive with your creative nature you want to express in the drawing. It collides with the freedom of just making art. And I was a perfectionist, and I still am. As you could tell with some of these lines, I want them to look crisp, but it took time to even get to this point, and yeah, I still have a lot of improving to do. I'm not saying, I'm a pro at doodling. I'm just saying I've become so comfortable at just letting the doodle go wherever it wants to go. I'm just kind of freestyling it. Now, obviously, I have ideas come in my mind. Like there were, like as you see right here, there's kind of like a face, and I kind of saw a shape that made me think it was a face there. I started kind of drawing this nose, and I make intestines looking shapes out of like noses and mouths. It just make them blend really weird. And I don't even know how I adapted such this weird style. I just really enjoy drawing like curvy lines like this all blending together. It's just super satisfying for me. And basically, if you want to start doodling like this to where it looks more complicated than what it actually is, you just have to trust the process. You have to do what I basically did here. I just started with a couple random shapes, not caring at all in the direction or what the shape looks like, and then just building off of it. And as you could tell, throughout a lot of this drawing, this little doodle I did, I jump around. If I don't like how a certain situation is going, I just move to a different part of the page. And I'm sure most of you are already doing that. There really is no way to draw or to get better at drawing other than just doing what you enjoy doing and putting in time and practice. Maybe once you have 10,000 hours of drawing, then depends on what you did during those 10,000 hours, but yeah, you put 10,000 hours into something, you're probably going to be pretty damn good at it. Yeah, and most people who want to get better at drawing, it's either something they did when they were younger and were pretty good at, but they stopped. Same with me. I mean, life in general just gets you. So some of us find ourselves not really enjoying our hobbies. I want this channel to be just random stories, talks, expressions, just me trying to be authentic and maybe just helping somebody get through their day with a relaxing time lapse drawing while ranting about whatever I think. Now, you will have influence. Like Peter draws, for instance. I think he might be like a decade or a little more older than me, but not too much older. But I started watching that man, 10 years ago. About a decade ago, and he heavily inspired me to kind of get into this direction of drawing, no doubt. But over time, you will start to have your own little twist to the influence you originated from. You'll start to adapt and find your own subconscious little habits that go into your drawing that make it yours, that makes it your style, that makes it your drawing and original and authentic. And even though I think doodling is obviously very popular, and with what I said earlier, I know there's a lot of other people who can doodle 10 times better than what I can. It's just the reality of it, but it has my own stain to it. It has my own taste. It has, you know, over time, once you see this channel and my style, you'll be able to tell, like, oh yeah, that's alienated art right there. I could tell. And that's really the goal. I want to create my own image with this kind of style of drawing, even if there is better styles out there. I don't really care because this is what I enjoy. And that's the point. I'm drawing what I enjoy drawing. If you like doodling, don't doodle like me, but take the concepts and the techniques and run with them into your own direction. Basically, you got to, because if you're an artist and you're trying to doodle and you're trying to get better, you're probably somewhat a perfectionist to a degree. You want things to be a certain way. You want to control the drawing. Let it control you for a little bit, and then you can start to take a little bit more ownership and put the little other puzzle pieces together to where it needs to go. Because once I finally have the doodle kind of mapping out the vibe of it and the direction of where it's going, I kind of know where to flow after that. It's like the foundation is built. Okay, now I can start actually just building on to this foundation. And it gets really easy. And yeah, it's really repetitive to a degree. There's a lot of my artwork, I'm like, I get it. I do draw a lot of the same kind of stuff, but it's all being expressed in a different way through each individual drawing. That's the fun part about it. It's like, even though I'm taking the same skill and the same right hand and pen and mindset going into it, it's always different in its own way, and I still enjoy the process. And that's what a lot of people don't enjoy anymore, is not enjoying the process. Because you're so worried about the end result of the art, you're so worried about how people are going to think about it, or you messed up in a certain part, and then your entire emotional expression of the piece is just ruined, and you're pissed. There's even several doodles that I throw away art. Like, if I messed it up or didn't like the direction it was going, like, I'm that bad. I've been that bad about it. I haven't had to do that in a while because guess not making too awful of an art piece for me to throw away. But I've been there. I literally have done it. Yeah, there's things that I've saved from when I was younger, of course. But yeah, I've gotten that pissed off about certain pieces where I toss them. So this is just me recording on my phone, and before this, I think I was doing no, I was working on my car, so mine the dirty fingernails and hands, some of the debris was still not getting off my hands after washing them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why my hands are dirty. So disregard that. And I'm recording from my iPhone. I believe I have an iPhone 14. Eventually, I will try to up the quality. I'm not gonna only do time-lapse videos. But I've attempted social media before, guys. I mean, dude. As a guy who has a life, works a full-time job, trying to be an artist with no experience, not much help, doing research on his own, and being I mean, the social media community is just so difficult to keep up with. You know, if you really want to make a career out of it. And that's what I struggle with. I have to overcome these barriers, and I think that's why I do so well in art lately. Is it's a way for me to express that and overcome it. And yeah, I mean, I like the messy persona of the artwork. It's all over the place, but it's organized. It has a direction, but it doesn't. It's very contradicting, kind of. Which I can be in many ways in my life. These are going to be Monday Moodles. They're probably going to be smaller sketches like these of me just doodling. And then I do have other doodles where they are a little bit more premeditated and what I want to get across in the picture. But this was completely just grabbed the drawing and just started making lines and seeing where it went. I think it turned out pretty good, so pretty happy with that. Yeah, I'm not really used to sitting here and talking to myself for you guys to listen to later. And I guess initially in my head I thought it would be easy, but this kind of isn't. Kind of sucks. Because it feels like I'm forcing words out of my mouth for no reason, just to fill in space. Let me know if you think I'm doing a good job at it. But yeah, do you guys think doodling like this could be more popular? Hopefully I'm able to grow a little bit of an audience with this kind of style of art. And like I said, I'm not good with social media, so the angles, the lighting, the quality of the videos, they're probably not going to be the greatest at first, but that's okay. That's something I've been having to just overcome for a while now. It's just stop worrying so much about a perfect video or a perfect short or a time lapse and just get it out there. So this is it. This is what I got for now. Be like that for a little bit. So I do have a website that I actually worked on years ago when I really started adapting this style and getting very good at it. And I was on a creative run for a minute. And if you're an artist out there, you know, like, you'll be on a good streak and then all of a sudden you hit a wall and just nothing comes to you, and then you just don't even care sometimes. You just stop doing art, and that's how it was. It would be like me just stop. I would stop doing art for months. Because it's something I've done since I was a kid, so I've always felt like, you know, if I had to do it, I could always do it when I go back to it. But you do notice you're a little off your game when you first come back to it. It's like almost muscle memory. You start to kind of pick back up the little hand habits you have when you do certain lines or shading, and that's what I'm saying with this. Like, I started to develop a certain motion, how my pen would just move across the paper with these lines. Eventually, they just got smoother, more crisp. I just was like, my hand was just moving. It was just so natural over time. But then that's where you see the repetitiveness in some of your drawings. You're like, oh, I'm just, drawing the same lines over and over. But really, I'm not. I mean, you can't replicate this kind of doodle so easily. I mean, for you to do this doodle exactly how it is, if you were going to copy it, you would have to trace it. Because you could look at this and be like, okay, I'm going to try to draw this by just looking at it. Yours is going to turn out way different. Maybe even better. If you were to actually to look at this and like, okay, I'm going to try to draw this. Like, the amount of lines, you'd be like, oh crap, I didn't see that this line actually goes over this part. And it would be so difficult. Because it's so random and off the top. But that's why I love about it. And that's because I used to be more of a realistic shading, pencil only kind of guy, portraits, and over time I was like, this kind of art is boring, and that's the kind of art that gets millions and millions of views and likes, and it's like any decent artist who understands good technique and has good eye for proportion, it's not that difficult. But this is the final piece, so we'll just keep it at that. Hope you guys enjoyed that first Monday Moodle, and there will be more to come. Peace out.